Zimrat Yah, Vaili Lishua, Ozi Vezimrat Yah, Vaili Lishua, Ozi Vezimrat Yah.
It's funny, even now, when we start singing O Ziv Zimrat Yah, I'm thinking, where's the Havdalah candle? And, it's time to get ready to end Shabbat, because it's one of the liturgical pieces for Havdalah. But in reality, it's also an important prayer right before Rosh Hashanah. Rosh Hashanah comes with a lot of weight, not just, from a clergy's perspective of, are the sermons done yet? Almost. Does the choir have all of their cues? Almost. Are the building setups, the chair setups, is everything in its place ready to go? Do people have tickets? Do people know what to do? Almost. There's a lot of weight that comes with getting ready for Rosh Hashanah in terms of the practicality of it. But there's also a lot of weight that comes with Rosh Hashanah in terms of what the high holidays are supposed to do for us. To look inward, to reflect, to think about the demons in our lives we wish to eradicate or perhaps wrestle with. To think about the year that's been, and it's been a year. To think about how we create a sacred society as we feel like maybe we're slipping further and further away from that possibility. There is a lot of weight that goes into the high holidays as we try and refocus and aim ourselves in the coming year. So let us take a moment now, as our prayer says, to find the strength that we need, to have the courage that we need, to be able to not just joyfully end the current year, but also with strength walk into a new year that we hope will be a better year, not just for us and our community, but all humanity.
Shabbat Shalom. My name is Allison Warzala, and it is my pleasure to welcome you to Anshe Emeth Memorial Temple. Whether you're here with us in the sanctuary or joining us on the live stream, I'm so glad that you chose to join us tonight to welcome Shabbat. I don't know about all of you, but I've had quite a week, so I am actually looking forward to having the opportunity to take a breath, reset, reflect, and get ready for yet another week. So with that, I would like to invite Sharon Mindell and Mark Diamondstein up to the bima to light our Shabbat candles. The blessings can be found on pages 2 and 3. Shabbat Shalom.
O source of light and truth, creator of the eternal law of goodness, help us to find knowledge by which to live. Lead us to take the words we shall speak into our hearts and our lives.
Bless all who enter this sanctuary in need, all who bring the offerings of their hearts. May our worship lead us to acts of kindness, peace, and love.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
We continue on the top of page 12.
Lechu neranena l'Adonai. Lechu neranena l'Adonai. Nariya netzoyisheinu nekadma fana betona. Nariya netzoyisheinu nekadma fana betoda. Bizmiron nariya lo. Lechu neranena l'Adonai. Lechu neranena l'Adonai. Nariya letzoyisheinu nekadma fana betona. Nariya letzoyisheinu nekadma fana betona. Bezmiron nariya lo. Lechu neranena l'Adonai. Lechu neranena l'Adonai. Nariya letzoyisheinu nekadma fana betona. Nariya letzoyisheinu nekadma fana betona. Bezmiron nariya lo. Bezmiron nariya lo.
We're page 17. Five lines down from the top.
Yodu Shimcha Gadol v'Nora ונורא, קדוש, קדוש הוא, קדוש הוא, קדוש הוא, קדוש הוא. יודו שמך גדול ונורא, יודו שמך גדול ונורא, קדוש הוא, קדוש הוא, קדוש הוא, קדוש הוא. יודו שמך גדול ונורא.
Page 20.
לך דודי לקראת כלה, הנה שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, הנה שבת נקבלה. שמור וזכור בדיבור אחד, השביענו אל המיוחד. אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשם תפארת ולתהילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, הנה שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, הנה שבת נקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי היא מקור הברכה. מראש מקדם נסוכה, סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, הנה שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, הנה שבת נקבלה. מקדש מלך עיר מלוכה, קומי צאי מתוך ההפכה. רב לך שבט במקלחה, והוא יחמול עלייך חמלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, הנה שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, הנה שבת נקבלה. התנערי מעפר גומי, לבשי בגדי תפארתך עמי. על יד בן ישי ביתן לחמי, קרבה אל נפשי גאה לה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. התעוררי, התעוררי, לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה לא תבושי ולא תקלמי מה תשתוכחי ומה תחמי בך יחסו עניי עמי ונבנתה עיר על תהילה לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה והיו למשיסה שוסייך ורחקו קומבלייך יסיס עלייך אלוהייך כמסוס חתן על כלה לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה ימין ושמאל תפרוצי ואת ארוני תעריצי על יד איש בן פרצי ונשמחה ונגילה לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת
Rise neither
כלה
body or spirit.
פני שבת נקבלה בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה גם בשמחה ובצהלה תוך אמוני עם סגולה בואי חלה בואי חלה לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
We continue with Chatzi Kaddish on page 26.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה
Amen.
בעלמא דברה חירותי וימליך מלכותי בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי כל בית ישראל בעגלה בעגלה ובזמן קריב אמרו אמן יהי שמי רבה מברך לעולם עולם לעלמיה
Yitbarach.
יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה בריחו לעילה מכל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דאמירן בעלמא ואמרו Amen.
We rise neither body or spirit for the Baruch Hu on page 28. we continue together on the bottom of page 31. This is an hour of change. Within it we stand uncertain on the border of light. Shall we draw back or cross over? Where shall our hearts turn? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? This is the hour of change, and within it we stand quietly on the border of light. What lies before us? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? Baruch atah Adonai, Hamariv Aravim.
Ahavat olam beit Yisrael, amcha avta, Torah u'mitzvot, chukim u'mishpatim, otanu lemadata. Ahavat olam beit Yisrael, amcha avta, Torah u'mitzvot, chukim u'mishpatim, otanu lemadata. Al kein Adonai Eloheinu, b'shokmeinu uvkumeinu, b'shokmeinu uvkumeinu nasiach b'chukecha, v'nismach b'divrei Toratecha, u'b'mitzvotecha, u'b'mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed, ki em chayenu chayenu be'orech yameinu, uvahem neged yomam v'layla, ve'ahavatecha al tasir mimenu le'olamim. Baruch atah Adonai,
Baruch Shema.
ohev amo Yisrael.
Please be seated.
Ve'avta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol lavavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi metzavecha hayom al levavecha ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברתם בם, בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו, ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני, אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני, אדוני אלוהיכם. אדוני אלוהיכם.
Amen. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands and marching together.
מי כמוך באלים, אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש, נורא תהילות עושה מלכותך ראו בניך, בוקע ים לפני משה ומרים, זה לי ענו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms.
Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms.
Hashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu. Hashkivenu, leshalom.
והעמידנו שומרנו לחיים, ופרוס עלינו שמחת שלומך.
Hashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu.
אלוהינו
Understanding among us, let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms.
Let there be love
I've often thought that Shabbat is where we envision a world full of love and peace and joy, like we just sang. I think after the few weeks we have seen unfold in the world around us, prayer for peace cannot be said enough. May the Shabbat rest that we know in the days ahead, the day ahead. Help us be inspired to create that peace and harmony amongst all people become a reality.
A thought has blown the marketplace away. There is a song on the wind and joy in the trees. Shabbat has arrived in the world, scattering a song in the silence of the night, and eternity honors a day. And eternity honors a day. Adonai Sfatai Tivtach Ufi Yagitehi Latecha. A thought has blown the marketplace away. There is a song on the wind and joy in the trees. Shabbat has arrived in the world, scattering a song in the silence of the night, and eternity honors a day. And eternity honors a Adonai Sfatai Tivtach Ufi Yagitehi
We continue now with Tfilat Halev, the personal and private prayer of the heart, either using what's in your Siddur up until page 63, or more importantly, the words inscribed upon your hearts. When you're finished, please be seated. But where are you going to put the shofar?
Shofar, so good.
Get it out of your system now before Rosh Hashanah. You've got a couple of days left. I love funny little phrases like that, shofar, so good. As some of you guys might know, my wife works as an assistant director at one of the URJ, one of the reform camps, Crane Lake Camp up in the Berkshires, and they have tons of phrases and sayings that sometimes make no sense. If you call out the youngest unit, Nitzanim, they all shout, "Hoo-ha-ha." I have no idea where this came from. I don't think they're quoting Al Pacino, but who knows? I'm sure, David, at your camp, there's probably also weird phrases that they do. No? What about 10 for 2? The phrase 10 for 2. You guys don't have that? That we live 10 months of the year with my parents so that we can have the 2 months of freedom at camp? You know, the 10 months of persecution for 2 months of freedom is... Little do they know that the parents are thinking the same thing too. I also love, because everything is so heightened at camp, all the emotions, the connections, the friendships, you make lifetime friendships within 4 weeks. They have the phrase, a midden is an hour is a day is a week is a month, and a month is a year. Well, using that logic, it's been a week since we've last met. Thinking about it, it was a week since Rabbi Hera Person was with us. Only 7 days since she came to our community and taught us and then left. And in that amount of time, the world has kind of changed with what's happening in Lebanon, in the Middle East, with what's happening in America with the campaign. We have lived a very long week, one that certainly feels like it's been a month. I see many of you are nodding your heads. I think you've felt it too, whether it's what's happening in the world or what's happening at home or what's happening in our community. We see the pain and uncertainty unfolding before us. As we're now, I was watching Stephen Colbert, I think it was last night, and he mentioned that there were 40 days until the election, and all I could think was, and God said to Noah, there's gonna be a floody. Thank you, Sam. You know, one of the things that I've been feeling as we've watched current events unfold this week, whether it's dealing with a fabricated story of Haitian migrants eating cats and dogs, which I can't believe we are still talking about, or whether it's watching what's happening in Lebanon and having serious debates and conversations over, is this a just thing that's unfolding before us? It might be. If the intelligence that we're getting is that they're about to perpetrate another October 7th, they might be. But Netanyahu and his administration have used up all of their credibility. And we're sitting here wondering. I have heard many people say if they could do that with the pagers and the walkie-talkies and the precision strike of Hezbollah's top brass, where are our hostages? Wasn't that what this was all about? And now we're talking about total victory in another front? How are we doing this? As Jews, how are we wrestling with this? As citizens of the world, how are we wrestling with this? The uncertainty of what the next 40 days will look like and beyond, it's enough to give us, well, I can't go gray, I've lost all my hair, but you guys get the image. But we feel more tribal than we've ever felt before. We felt more isolated from one another than we've ever felt before. We feel more anger towards one another than we've ever felt before. Our Torah portion this week is Parshat Nitzavim. Not Nitzanim, you don't need to yell Uwaha. It's Parshat Nitzavim. And it begins with Atem Nitzavim Hayom Kulchem Lifnei Adonai Elohechem, that you all stand this day, each and every one of you, stand this day before your God, your tribal heads, your elders, your officers, all the men, children, and women, even the stranger, the wood chopper, the water drawer, enters into this covenant with your God today. The there was not one person who wasn't there, part of the community that was receiving Torah at Mount Sinai or standing before Moses at this moment. All of them entered into the covenant at the same time. Not just the men or not just the chieftains, but everybody. And we all received Torah at that moment, as the story goes. To me, it's a reminder that we are empowered participants in community, that we're not just subjects to whatever our leaders do, but the commandments, the mitzvot, the covenant is part of us as well. That we and our leaders are a reflection of each other. That we are responsible for trying to build the sacred world that we wish to see. And that it can't just be lip service. Imagine the world as it is, not, as you wish it to be, not as it is. But you actually need to do something to make it that world. Maybe it's giving up anger. Maybe it's talking to somebody you don't normally talk to about topics you might feel a little uncomfortable with. Maybe it's having room in your heart to see the good in others, but also having the courage to say what's going on is not acceptable anymore. The hate, the xenophobia, the anti-Semitism, the rhetoric which is causing division, that we won't stand for it anymore. We are part of our community. As our Rabbi say, Al tifrosh min hatzibor, that we are not allowed to cut ourselves off from the community. It's a reminder that we are one with the community and the community is part of us. That we can't delegate it off to others to have a voice when we stay quiet. Every week when we've been coming together to welcome in Shabbat in the month of Elul, we've been thinking about another aspect of cheshbon hanefesh, of introspection. What have I done for myself in terms of making the world a better place? What has our community done? What has our households done? Tonight, I think it's the wider version. What have we as a congregation, as a community, as a nation of Jews, where are we in society in terms of looking towards our own actions and behaviors, in terms of making this world a better place? Every time we hear the shofar, we're supposed to be stirred toward teshuvah, towards a coming around, towards coming back to how we were before a sin was done. Tonight, let's think about how do we, as a community, get us back to a point in time when we can have conversations with people we don't disagree with, that we don't agree with. How do we get back to a time when politics isn't run by animosity? How do we get back to a time when religion is not run by animosity? How do we get to a moment that maybe never existed before but could exist in the future, where our community is built on kindness and the assumption that no one is trying to hurt one another? That type of world that kindness rules as the basis of how we live. How can the blast of the shofar get us to make that kind world a reality? Tekiah. Shabbat Shalom.
Esa Eloi
On this Shabbat Eve, as we join together as one congregation to celebrate creation, the joy of life and living, we turn our thoughts to those in our community for whom life has become precarious because of health or hospitalization. I want to invite you to either say the name of someone you are thinking of aloud or find on your service sheet the name of a congregant you would like to say a prayer for, and say their names as I look around the sanctuary. O God of healing, we name those who are facing illness and pain. We join our prayers together with the prayers of those who love them. Give them renewed comfort and courage. Strengthen in them the healing powers you place within us all. Guide the hands and hearts of those who are entrusted with their care. May the knowledge of your love and ours give added hope to them and their families. May they find even greater strength because our prayers are linked to theirs. As together we say, Amen. We continue now with a special prayer for the redemption of hostages that can be found in your trifold. Our God, the one who raised Joseph up from the pit, be a refuge for the oppressed, a refuge in time of trouble. Send complete rescue and full redemption to all those held captive by the enemy. Strengthen their spirit and bring them our prayers that they are protected from all harm. Implant understanding in the heart of the enemy, that they may return the captives in wholeness of body and spirit. Grant wisdom to the Israel Defense Force, that they may secure freedom for the captives without loss of life. Grant strength and spirit of courage and heart to all the children of Abraham, Sarah, and Hagar, to release bonds of captivity and allow us all to live in freedom. They shall call upon me, and I will answer them. I will be with them in distress. I will rescue them and honor them. We continue now on page 282 as we rise in either body or spirit for Elena.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא.
Page 287. May we gain wisdom in our lives, overflowing like a river with understanding. Loved, each of us, for the peace we bring to others. May our deeds exceed our speech, and may we never lift up our hand but to conquer fear and doubt and despair. Rise up like the sun, O God, over all humanity. Cause light to go forth over all the lands between the seas, and light up the universe with the joy of wholeness, of freedom, and of peace.
ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד ושמו אחד ושמו
It is a fearful thing to love what death can touch, a fearful thing to love, hope, dream, to be and oh, to lose. A thing for fools this, and a holy thing to love. For your life has lived in me, your laugh once lifted me, your word was gift to me. To remember this brings a painful joy. 'Tis a human thing, love, a holy thing to love what death has touched. Recall the loved ones whom death has recently taken from us, those whose families are observing the Shloshim. Tonight we remember Harriet Kraske, wife of Sandy of blessed memory, mother of Paula Mashuli, grandmother of Scott and Gina, Karen and Dimitri, great-grandmother of Jake and Sophie, Charlie and Ellie and Winston. And remember those who died at this season in years past, whom we've taken into our hearts with our own. If you're joining us tonight online to say Kaddish for a loved one, please say their names aloud at home. And if you're here in person to say Kaddish for a loved one, please say their names as they look around the sanctuary. Zichronam livracha. May all their names and memories only be for a blessing. I invite all the mourners, if able, to rise for Kaddish Yatom, Mourner's Kaddish on page 294. Yitkadal, V'yikadash, Shemei Rabbah, V'yamad Yivrach Yerutei, V'yamlik Malchutei, V'chayichon, V'yomechon, V'chayed Dekol Beit Yisrael, Ba'gala Vizman Kariv V'yemru Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabba Mivrach Leolam Lomei Almaya, Yitbarach V'yishtabach V'yitpa'ar V'yitramam V'yitnaseh, Vitadar, vitale, vitalal, shmei de kudisha, brichu. Leila min kol birchata veshirata. Tush bechata venechamata. Damiran bialma vimru. Amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya. V'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Vimru. Amen. Oseh shalom bimromav. Hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Vimru. Amen. May the source of peace bestow peace to all who mourn, and may we be a source of comfort for all who are bereaved, as we say, Amen.
Ose shalom bimromav, uyase shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael,
We have just one or two announcements before we conclude our service. Tomorrow, in addition to all of our adult study classes that are currently taking place, we also have Yoga Shalom at 10:45 in Littman Hall. Tomorrow night at 7:30 in person and also on Zoom is our Slichot study, where we are unpacking the year that we've had and how we're all doing as we are about to enter into the new year. That's going to be in person and on Zoom. If you're in person, you get to have whatever cookies we provide. If you're at home, it's whatever you have in the kitchen. And we've got some good cookies. That's going to be at 7:30. I'm saying this because we don't know when exactly the study is going to end, but then we're coming up here for our Slichot service, where we begin those petitionary prayers of forgiveness, but also change the Torah covers from their beautiful colors to their white Torah high holiday covers. So if you log on, those who are at home right now, if you log on to the live stream at 9 o'clock and the sanctuary is empty, that does not mean that you missed the service. It means just wait for us to come up. If you log on to the service, because we're going to have it go for quite some time, and we will be done before the live stream ends, if you go on to the live stream and see that the Torah covers are white, then it means you did miss the service. I'm just putting that out there. If the Torah covers are colored, you didn't miss it. If they're white, you missed it. But that should be starting somewhere around 9 o'clock. On Sunday, we have a special treat in that Scott Fried is coming to talk to our high school students and parents and also young adults at various times throughout the day. But also, parents of 7th through 12th graders are invited to a special breakfast social that's at 11 o'clock in the Media Center. That is sponsored by Vod Noar. What's that? 10 o'clock. Oh, I just read what's on the sheet of paper in front of me. At 10 o'clock is the parent breakfast social in the Media Center. If you really, this is another shameless plug, if you really like your time with Scott Fried, you should think about joining us for the adult civil rights trip to the Deep South, where we're going to Montgomery, to Birmingham, we're walking across the Edmund Pettus Bridge, and Scott Fried will be our tour guide. It's already been confirmed, so think about coming. If we're lucky, we might even see Reverend Warnock preach at Ebenezer Baptist Church on Sunday, which he does from time to time when the trips are there. So shameless plug for the future, but you should register for that soon. This Sunday at 10:30 is our book club that's meeting on Zoom. On Sunday at 1 o'clock, too, the Reform Movement is having a commemoration of October 7th. That's going to be a worldwide commemoration. Look for the link in your email. And then Tuesday is my last preparing for the high holidays text study class at 12:30. I haven't even mentioned high holidays, or that the following Saturday is Philip Dool's adult bar mitzvah, and you should all join us for that. So check your Monday email for some of that stuff. We're also going to be sending out a special email early next week that will outline all of the high holiday stuff for you in full. The thing you really need to remember is bring your tickets, because that's your entry into the building. Can't say that enough. A big thank you tonight to Rafi Doolin for blowing the shofar, for Leah Frank on the keyboard, and Barbara Fishman for being a duet tonight. I could give you more announcements, but I think I'll save you some time. You're welcome, Allison.
We close our service tonight with the singing of Pete Huli on page 344 as we rise. Pete Huli Sharei Tzedek Avov Amodea. 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 Pete Huli Sharei Tzedek Avov Amodea.
Borei Nev Sfatayim, Shalom, Shalom Lerachok v'lekarov Amar Adonai. Heartening words of comfort, peace, peace shall come to those who are far and to those who are near. Peace to our world. Amen and Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.